those early chats were like incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you just speak about, you know,
formative.
like,
you learn from your peers, you know, and I think, you know, the sacrifices we make as entrepreneurs, I think we don't necessarily put enough time into our friendships, into those conversations.
Is I want to have more lunches with people that I really like.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of friends are busy. It's good to see, it's good to make time for friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important. But also I think, like, even from an entrepreneur's point of view, there's plenty of studies that talk about people's networks and the value in people's networks. The most valuable people in your network are not usually the very closest people, because you know all the same people. If you want to learn something different or you want to meet different people, you need to hop a few steps away. And it's those friends that you've got from like 20 years ago that you went to the same school with, or I used to breakdance with, or that we, you know, whatever that reason is, they're different from the people that you see absolutely every day. And therefore the people that they know are also different from the people that you know. And so even from a, like, just a sheer, oh, have you spoken with XYZ about this? There is a value in doing that. But I think it's quite cynical if that's the value we dwell on. It's never going to be something that you regret.
No, that's true. You mean what's the extended network?
I mean, I was talking about the extended network, but I'm also talking about, you know, when we re-record this podcast 30 years from now and we're looking back, we're going to say thank you for the time that we spent having lunch, and probably not the extra hour here or there in the office.
Like the classic is pre-COVID, let's say, it was you never left before your boss.
Yeah.
Right, you just stay in the office.
Yeah.
You wouldn't talk about having a holiday. I mean, God forbid, you're like, holidays for losers, mate, you know.
Yeah.
But now the conversation is way more like a good leader, I think, is, have you taken your holiday yet?
You need a balance.
You need a balance, right? Because you're in the game for so long.
Yeah.
And you need to be mentally and physically fit.
Absolutely.
And you need to be on the pitch playing the game, right?
Right. You know, it's funny you said, I was thinking about this recently, because there has been a change. There's a phrase I picked on that I found really interesting. It was lifestyle business. Do you remember? And it's still a little bit now. People talk about a lifestyle business like it's a bad thing.
Negative.
Like it's a negative.
Yeah,
It's that somehow means it's not successful.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You're going to work minimum of 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Chances are, if it's your own thing, and probably more. If it isn't a lifestyle business, if it doesn't fit your lifestyle, if you're not enjoying it and that package isn't there, it really doesn't make sense. I think the terms that we use are overly simplistic. It's either a lifestyle business or it's not. But there's got to be some kind of hybrid. I worked in finance. I was a scientist. I was a dancer at one point. I've done all of these very weird or very different things. This is the thing that I enjoy most, where I feel like I'm adding the most value. I mean, we could go like Ikigai and talk about that life purpose stuff.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else out there that I would be better suited to or want to do more. So one day, if you read an article in a local newspaper, that's as far as I'm going, and maybe trade press, maybe get to trade press, and Lee dies in the office late at night, good. I was probably happy doing that because the version of lifestyle business I chose kind of worked for me, and I feel like there's a reason to do it.
Yeah. Love that. Since I set up my business, which is almost 14 years ago,
wow.
the early...
Congrats.
Thank you. And you're not too... I think you're the same, right?
About 10, 11 years.
The first 5 years, people ask me 2 questions. When do I want to sell?
Yeah.
And how many staff do I have?
Right.
I mean, more staff doesn't equal more money.
No.
And why do I have to want to sell?
Yeah.
And
why growth for the sake of it?
Well, because a lot of it, because also a lot of the, entrepreneurship's got really cool. It's like the modern day rock star. And you see it all over social media. We were talking about it just before the camera came on, right?
It is.
Let's be honest, it is. It's kind of got, it's that kind of...
It's the age of a celebrity entrepreneur.
Celebrity entrepreneur.
And influencer entrepreneur.
Influencer entrepreneur
totally...
with all these podcasts and all this kind of stuff, right? The thing with social media and the thing that a lot of people communicate is because the main entrepreneur rock stars are in tech.
Right.
And if you think about tech, is they're raising money every 18 months and they don't make any money until they have an event, sell or IPO.
Yeah.
And so I think that has influenced a lot of people's view on, well, you have to sell to make money. A lot of people don't realize that we're both doing businesses. We're doing consulting businesses, roundabout way, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's obviously nuance to yours.
Yeah, but you're right. It's about right.
We're doing consulting, which means that, we can make money and profit right from the beginning. We can keep our costs low.
Yeah.
We can make money. We can have fun doing it and things like that. So there's many businesses that one can choose to do. You can go and run a coffee shop. Do
it just won't make the cover of a magazine, but you know that's what people are sort of reading and seeing. It's those rare, huge, unicorn success stories. But VCs won't touch successful smaller businesses sometimes, especially in the tech space, where actually there's a really good, legitimate business model. But unless you can 10x your, you've got that massive ROI, it just doesn't feel sexy. Yeah. Well, one of the things that springs to mind is there's a lot of ways, it's way easier to mess up your life and your business than it is to build it and improve it, your life and your business.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways that people can take a downhill nosedive very quickly. Learning to buffer against that, including, aspects of our own personalities, is something that helps you build over time.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people are in such a rush. And also because of all the influence of stuff and just people talking about it, and you see the rock stars that have made $1 billion by 20 or whatever it was. But I think the average age is 40, someone starting a business, and it takes a while. I always think of it like this, like it's a good stat, but I always think of this like Lewis in his 20s, me in my 20s was pretty good. Yeah. Me in my 30s was refining and just learning, building on my 20s.
Yeah.
Me in my 40s, I mean, wow. Like powerful. Like I've had my 20s, my 30s, and refining on my stuff. Me in my 50s is going to be just ridiculous. And God help everyone in my 60s.
It's very seductive, those success stories. And unfortunately, it's like a keeping up with the Joneses. And it makes people feel really terrible that you see people that are, congrats to everyone who's made something of their lives and is still trying, right? And it doesn't matter where you get to, but well done for the effort and the hustle, etc., etc. When you see, you're just bombarded by the massive success stories, it's very easy to forget that you just made it another day. You got up, you went to work, you did the best you could. Pat on the back. That's something in itself, but we don't tend to celebrate that because it just isn't sexy.
No, but you should celebrate it in front of the mirror every day to yourself. That's super important.
I can't do that. Look, happiness is ultimately something that if you're running a company, you need to have enough of because you're influencing the culture around you. So if not just for any other reason than business success, you have to be happy enough for your team. But I'm not inherently a happy person. I'm never rainbows, smiles and sunshines. I'm just not built that way. I never was.
Okay, on that point then. Yeah. So there's a lot of folks the same. Right, like we're all different, but everyone struggles with the mindset thing.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe you're just not having enough caffeine in the morning. I don't know, but like we're in our head, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think there's certain little things that one can do.
For God's sake, meditate. Right.
You could do meditate.
Yeah, and I do, and it helps. And mind state is really important. If you can't change the world, you can change the way you look at the world, how you interpret things. We know that there's habits that make us happier: gratitude, forgiveness, practicing love and compassion. And there are I think some of the listeners will be familiar with the 6-phase meditation. There are ways of meditating that you can improve your mind state, and gratitude is really a big part of that. Yeah. You do have to take time to do it. But at the end of the day, it depends why you're doing this. If you're driven and that's enough for you, that's enough for you. You don't have to be all smiles. And I feel that extra pressure of performance on the shoulders of entrepreneurs is sometimes kind of toxic as well. Because on top of the great business, on top of X and Y and Z, you've also got all these other things that you need to do and be. That's hard.
1,000%. And I wrote this down again. It's like, who does the go-to person go to?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing, right? Everyone, as a leader, entrepreneur, starting a business, everyone's looking. You're the go-to person, right?
Right.
But with humans, who do you go to? A lot of people feel like they can't go to anyone.
No, that's a mistake. You have to learn to ask for help. One of the most important things. I've worked so hard over times that I've damaged my health quite badly, and I haven't wanted that. And one of my best friends, my ex-girlfriend, just said, get a coach, just get help. You have to realize how many other people have been through similar things before. No one can do it alone. And entrepreneurs by nature, you want to be stoic. You want to be able to take all of those shots. You want to be, I can do this. I'm tougher. I'm just going to double down. I'm just going to work harder. And actually for academics, if you come from an academic background, that's a really common path and a feeling you're like, well, I can do this. I'm just going to do it harder. Eventually that has a limit. and it stops. You have to get help and development. And depending on how you like to learn, you can do that from books, you can do it from podcasts, you can do it from YouTube, anyway, but a human, a coach, someone who knows scaling up, all of those like classic techniques, but also sort of more modern techniques on how to manage other people and can tailor their advice, understanding you as a person, your flaws, your strengths, your weaknesses. You need that help. You need an impartial third party sometimes to do that. And if that can come from within your organization, great. But for me, it is a third party, and you probably will benefit from some outside help.